What's up, everybody? Welcome on into our AT&T 5G virtual studios. This is the call-up. I am Julian Sakovitz. That is Susannah Collins. We are not at a game. We're taking a minute to tape this podcast, but man, what a week it has been. Goodbye, one seeds. Hello, teams like RSL, the focus of our episode here today. But the focus of my heart was that I got to spend time. It feels like weeks ago, but it was in fact 72 hours ago. I got to spend time with Susannah Collins in the Detroit airport at 6 a.m. past Sunday as we each tried to get to our respective games in Philly and Kansas City. And people, Suze, in Terminal A must have thought we were insane.
Lunatics.
But how happy. I mean, I'm still just cheesing.
I know.
Basically, there was a freak storm that came in through Michigan, where I was doing a Michigan State game and where Susannah lives at the coveted Finch Lake. And then we both couldn't get out of town on Saturday, slept wherever on that night. And then we both had to try to get to our games on Sunday morning. And it was a beautiful silver lining. It made it all worth it.
That's what I kept saying. I was like, because, oh my God. Yeah, I was supposed to fly out Saturday night and was so looking forward to like getting to Kansas City and just like waking up and having a chill morning, like to get ready. And then it was like, nope, Mother Nature has other ideas. So I had a 5:30 a.m. flight to get to Detroit. And you have to get up at like 3 a.m. in those situations. And but then realizing, watching your Instagram stories, I was like, Jill is stuck in Detroit right now. There is a chance that we might be at the Detroit airport at the same time. And I was like, if I get to like see her, even if it's for like 2 seconds, this is going to make all of this travel nonsense so worth it. And it worked out. And we had a beautiful moment, a beautiful little rendezvous in Terminal A. It was so great. And honestly, you know what? It set the tone for the rest of my day.
It did.
It's a little things.
It was my first ever 11-hour delay. 11 hours. 11. Yeah. We were supposed to leave at 10:50 at night and we left at 9 a.m. the next day.
Woof.
However, you made it all worth it. But the crazy travel, the freak elements and everything, I loved all of it. But for those of you that can see me today, perhaps you think I'm looking a little different. I'm sitting here on a heating pad. Yes, I have thrown out my back. We're only midway through the playoffs, girlfriend, and I'm doing everything in my power to make it to MLS Cup.
You've got it. You've got this.
Yeah.
Listen, I appreciate you. You're a champion for slogging on through this today.
Pathetic.
But listen, throwing out your back is no joke. I have done it before and it is no fun. So listen, we're gonna get you through this, and you look beautiful. You always do. Okay. So just don't even worry about that. But we've got such a fun episode today. As Jill said at the top, it's all about RSL. You guys, this is the story of the MLS Cup Playoffs right now. They have taken down Seattle. They have taken down Sporting Kansas City. Both of these games were away from home. I mean, just defying the odds. And we've got Justen Glad and everybody's favorite villain, David Ochoa, hopping on the call up. And it's just, man, what a special team to be around right now.
I think the biggest thing is, the headlines have been that they're a Cinderella story and David Ochoa is the villain. And they've got thoughts and they've actually got other words on that. So let's take a listen.
Time now for our AT&T 5G call to the field. We are so thrilled to bring in the man with the golden PK, defender and RSL homegrown, Justen Glad. Justen, so great to see you. First of all, congratulations. RSL heading to the Western Conference Finals. You're going to face off against Portland on Saturday. Has this all sunk in yet, especially after these wild matches against Seattle, Sporting Kansas City? You guys just continue to get it done. Has it sunk in?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've had a couple of days to sleep on it, to kind of realize where we're at. And yeah, the team's excited. Everyone's excited. There's an energy around the team right now. And we're just looking to go as far as we can.
Justen, all of the headlines have said Cinderella Story RSLs. Do you guys feel like you're a Cinderella story, or is that offensive?
That's a good question. I think maybe a little bit, just because the expectations were so low. But again, the belief has been there from everyone in the locker room since day one. So yes and no, like we kind of expected that we could do this. But it's one thing to think you can do it, and then it's a whole different thing to actually go out there and do it.
No, go ahead.
No, please.
I was going to say, so think about it, and before we wrap this interview, we'll find a new terminology than a Cinderella story. We're all Salt Lake.
How about I have one? I have one. Okay, well, Justen, I heard you say belief, okay? Because, like, this is the mantra around this team right now. Pablo has said it. Demir said it to me in the post-game interview, and it's giving us, like, major Ted Lasso vibes, but in, like, the best way possible, because we are very big Ted Lasso fans over here on the call-up. So maybe we can, like, turn this into, like, a Ted Lasso, situation. We call this, like, the Ted Lasso team. But do you feel like maybe RSL is MLS's version of AFC Richmond, and like, honestly, like Pablo used to have that mustache,
The mustache.
It just kind of works.
It is similar. The mustache is similar. Yeah, I mean, again,
he's not sold on that either.
The word belief has been with us since the beginning of the season, and I'll tell you what, Pablo's speeches and Ted Lasso's speeches are both top notch.
When you look at round one at Seattle for a moment, after a perfect round of penalties, you step up for the sixth penalty. What goes through your mind in that moment?
Honestly, it was just pick a side and shoot. Once I saw his fingertips touch it, then my mind started racing a little bit. But yeah, I knew what came with it. I knew it was, you can either be the hero or zero. And that's just a risk you have to take. And I'm just thankful it went in,
It was incredible watching that. It was that sort of like that moment of like, oh my God, is it going in? Did that moment feel like it was like 10 minutes as you like watched the ball, like kind of trickle in past the goal line?
Absolutely. It felt like slow motion for a second there. I was just sitting there like, oh my goodness.
It's wild.
And then watching it trickle in just,
I mean, what a moment though. And then I have to ask you, there was a story that it was actually supposed to be Justen Meram's PK, and you went up to him and said, bro, I got this. Can you kind of tell us the story of how that happened? And like, was Justen like, yeah, man, do your thing?
Yeah. He was 6 on the list. But when we were standing there, I kind of looked over at him. I was like, yo, like, are you next? And he's like, yeah. But he could kind of tell that I was like ready to go, that I wanted it. So he ended up letting me step up and take it. So yeah. Thanks to him, he relinquished that, and thank God I made it.
That's amazing. How do you know that you're like ready to take that penalty? Like, when you're like in that moment, and it's like, nope, this is like I want it. Because in my head, I'm like, I'd be freaking out a little bit. Where does that confidence come from?
To be honest, I don't even know. I don't know. I just knew I wanted to take a pen. I was thinking about, my time at the club, what a moment it'd be to send us into the next round. And it was just a moment that I wanted to have. I wanted to, experience. So
something I really want to ask you about is a season full of ups and downs. We had Brian Dunseth, former RSLer and RSL commentator, on earlier this season. And he talked about how difficult it must be within the RSL locker room to keep the faith with the ownership questions. And when your head coach, Freddie Juarez, leaves in the summer to go become an assistant elsewhere in Seattle, you get the decision day craziness. How did you guys galvanize as a group at that point over the summer when you had the coaching change and your head coach leaves to take an assistant job elsewhere? What was the galvanizing moment? Who brought you guys together? Because that's usually the coach's job.
Yeah, I think for sure Pablo had a lot to do with it. And then just we got a lot of leaders on the team, between Demir, Albert, Aaron, there's a lot of guys who were willing to step up. And at the end of the day, with all that other stuff going on, it's really about us in the locker room and just staying focused. And I think Pablo did an incredible job kind of making everyone realize that it's us, it's us against the world. Soccer at the end of the day, soccer's soccer, and if you go out there and play well, win games, anything can happen.
How did Pablo do that?
Again, the Ted Lasso speeches are they're very motivating. I don't know if you've seen any of them on Twitter or whatnot.
Yes.
But he really makes you want to run through a wall for him. So
I mean, you can feel it. And, after that game, even like in the interview that I did with him, I mean, I wanted to run through a brick wall through it. Like, I was like, let's go. He just has that kind of energy. And it's infectious. We saw the video of the speech he gave after the Seattle win. And it's just, he's such a special guy. It feels like he was the right guy to come in at the time, as you say, to kind of like galvanize this group. Like, for you guys and for this team, has he earned his spot as the permanent head coach?
Listen, I'm not going to address that. That's not my job to decide. I think he's a great guy, great head coach. So I'll leave it at that.
Fair enough. We don't want to put you on the spot.
Actually, we are going to put you on the spot again, talking about your goalkeeper, David Ochoa, the master chirper for the haters in MLS. What are your thoughts on the villain persona he has created for himself? Is that just Ochoa on the field, or is that like Ochoa when you guys like go out?
No, I think that's Ochoa on the field. I think it's incredible, to be honest. I think it excites fans. It brings eyes to the game. It gives a story. It makes everything that much more exciting.
I mean, it was amazing to watch it in person in Kansas City. And it's just funny because like we had guys like Felipe on the pod, right? Who has this sort of like villain persona in the league. But then you meet him and you're like, oh God, he's like the nicest dude ever off the pitch. So it's interesting to kind of like see the two sides of these guys. Justen, let's talk a little bit about you. I read something really interesting that when you first signed as a homegrown with RSL, you were actually a midfielder, and then you were like, there's a whole bunch of midfielders and not a lot of defenders, and so I want to try to like up my odds of actually getting some playing time. So I'm just going to transition to playing defense. And obviously it has worked out for you, but can you kind of talk about what that was like? And like, did you anticipate like just being a defender for the rest of your career?
Yeah, so that was actually when I went to the academy.
Okay.
There were tryouts and they told us, all right, split into groups, and there were probably about 50 forwards, 50 midfielders, and like 15 defenders. And at this point, I was just thinking, you got to make this team. So I looked at the odds. I said, all right, I guess I'm a defender now, and I'll just fill it in and hopefully make the team. And maybe after I make the team, I can work my way back up to midfield. And then, it just sort of stuck. Best decision I ever made, tell you what.
Seems to have worked out.
Yeah.
I think like this whole Real Salt Lake season can be best described, maybe even for the fans, not you guys, because you had the belief the whole time, but by your sister's reaction that went MLS level viral on Twitter, where she looked like she was in an apartment, someone's taping her, and she was honestly like could not even believe it, like just screaming at the top of her lungs when you scored your penalty. I mean this in the funniest way ever. Were you slightly offended at all that she was so shocked?
I know.
It was adorable.
Relax. We knew it was going in. Just relax. No, but that was incredible to watch. I've probably seen that video 100+ times, and I still.
It's historic now in your family.
Exactly. I love that video. And
where was she, and like who was she with? How old is she when we were watching? Because like we see the back of her head and she's just screaming her head off. So she could be anywhere from like a 16-year-old girl to like us.
Well, she's 27, so she's a little older than me. And she was at her house with my cousin. My cousin was recording actually.
Aww.
And yeah, just pure gold.
It's amazing. I mean,
What a good sister.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You want
yeah.
your family to be that excited for you. It's incredible. I love it.
And I'm sure they didn't expect me to take the PK. So I actually think she was gonna go to the bathroom, and then my cousin called her back. She's like, "Wait, he's taking a pen, so you got to come back out." Yeah.
Oh God, that's amazing. Justen, we're gonna ask you to do a little like rapid fire. We just want to get kind of like a sneak peek of what it's like inside this RSL locker room, because by all accounts, this is an incredibly tight-knit group. You guys just have an incredible chemistry together. So we want to just get kind of like a sense of what it's like in there. So first question, who controls the pregame playlist?
That's a split. We usually start with Pablo, some Spanish music, Pablo Ruiz.
Okay.
I know, it's like,
Gotcha.
And then about halfway through, Aaron takes over and throws on the hip hop rap.
Love it.
Who's the talker through the pregame huddle?
Demir.
I can totally see that. Totally see that.
Yeah, gets us fired up.
Who would you say is kind of like your big brother on the team? Like the guy you kind of like coach, or are you the big brother now? The seasoned veteran that
You're
you
not
are.
old enough.
Yeah. That's a great question. Big brother. You know, if you had asked me that last year, I would have said Natum would be more like the big brother.
Yeah.
And then this year, I'm not really sure, to be honest.
I think it's you. I think you've transitioned into that role.
I hope so.
Suze has assigned you big brother. So
Listen, he's young, but he's been around RSL for a very long time.
Yeah, I hope so at this point.
It's a compliment.
Yes, thank you.
it is. Who's the little brother?
Little brother. Oh, he's gonna be pissed when I say this, but I'll say Andrew Brody just so he's upset.
Oh, bless his heart. Okay, now we're not jinxing anything here, but just saying that RSL happens to go on and lift the Anschutz Trophy and win MLS Cup. Who's planning the after party, Justen?
Oh, I'm putting that on Albert Rusnak.
There we go.
Why? Why, Albert? Just curious.
Why? He always has a plan, you know. He's the man with the plan. He's good at setting things up, and yeah, he knows how to have a good time. So,
the man with the plan. All right, Justen. Before we let you go, how are you guys going to get it done this weekend in Portland?
Yeah. Honestly, just staying disciplined. We've played Portland twice now, but both times we're with 3 in the back, and this time, you know, I would assume, I don't know for sure, but I would assume we go in with the 4 that we've been playing. And yeah, just staying disciplined. We know they're great on the counter, but staying disciplined, staying compact, and playing good soccer. I think everyone's playing really well at this point, and it's about, you know, getting hot at the right time, as we've seen before. So yeah, just everyone, again, the belief, everyone working for each other, and hopefully we can get it done.
Suze, he's selling us hard on your I know not everyone wants it, but the more you're talking, the more I'm getting those Ted Lasso vibes.
I'm telling you, this is a good thing. Ted Lasso is like the best thing. Oh my God.
You guys are in season 3 right now. Like, we don't know what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
you're writing the script. You're writing the script.
Yeah.
Time now for another AT&T 5G call to the field. That's right, 2 for the price of 1 on today's call up. The goalkeeper that we cannot stop talking about, RSL goalkeeper David Ochoa. Hi, David.
Hi.
We appreciate you jumping on before training at Salt Lake. It has been go nonstop for this team. Can't even imagine you've been able to get a ton of training sessions in, probably just a lot of regen and chilling. We know that you guys have been in and out. How is the team feeling now as you prepare now for Portland?
No, yeah, the team is feeling confident. You know, I think we've proved everyone wrong, and you know, we're kind of feeding off that. You know, that those doubts in us have built a fire in us to, you know, prove people wrong and, you know, give it our all on the field. So I definitely think the group is feeling confident, and you know, I think we're looking good going into Portland on Saturday.
I mean, proving people wrong has been sort of the whole identity of this team in the MLS Cup playoffs. And we kept hearing, we just talked to your teammate Justen Glad. We keep hearing this word belief around this team, and you've kind of become this sort of like villain that we love to watch, just silencing all the haters. I got to see it firsthand in Kansas City, which was awesome. Justin was like, it's like, we love it. We love this guy, but he's a different persona off the field than he is on the field. Can you tell us about just sort of how you've like embraced this sort of like villain role, or is it a villain role? You tell us.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I guess you could say it's the, villain role. I'm enjoying it. Even though, I mean, I don't really think I'm a villain. I'm just, kind of reacting as the game goes, however I feel like. A couple people have asked me that, and, I think it goes all the way back to the idols that I grew up watching. And, those are Cristiano Ronaldo and Kobe Bryant, who are two smack talkers in the game. But I think I'm kind of getting it from them. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I like winning, most importantly. And with that, I feel like you have to do a little bit of smack talking. So I'm enjoying it.
I love it.
Besides being the greatest at each of their own crafts, what was it about Ronaldo and Bryant that made you say, like, I want to be like them? Aside from their greatness, I want to be that person on the team.
Yeah, no, they're just their character, their winning mentality, their leadership. I think those are the two things that kind of stood out to me. Though they're two people who you can count on when you need them, and that two people that are not going to give up. And I think those are the things that just kind of stood out to me, and it was just kind of natural. I felt like I can relate to them.
David, you had such a standout performance in that Seattle game, especially during the penalty shootout. And, in the MLS Cup playoffs, like, there is always a chance that this could go to PKs in every single game. Sort of, can you kind of tell us about the preparation that you go for, knowing that it's entirely possible that the game could go to PKs, that you will be in that spot to kind of be like the hero or the zero, as Justen Glad said. What is your preparation like mentally, physically, like the day before? Are you working on this in training? Like, what does it all look like?
No, yeah, we've definitely, as a group, we've been working on penalty kicks, for 2 weeks now. After training, everyone takes a penalty kick. So I thought the guys were well prepared, and I've been pretty well prepared as well. My goalkeeper coach has done film on the teams that we're facing, and he goes through everyone who could potentially shoot a PK. So I'm well studied, you could say, in that. I know exactly where players tend to shoot more. But at the same time, I love that. I love the pressure. I want to become the hero during penalty kicks. I feel like I'm a pretty good PK shot stopper. So I'm confident in myself in penalty kicks, even though versus Seattle I only saved one. But
it's all you needed. It's all you needed.
It's all I needed. So it's all the team needed. So, but yeah, I mean, I definitely, not that I look forward to going to PKs, but I mean, I don't mind them, and I'm confident in my abilities, and I'm confident I can help the team win.
So maybe instead of us all saying in every headline on every planet saying, David Ochoa, the villain, this and that, it should just be David Ochoa, the hero, because that's kind of more the vibes that I'm getting. Let's talk about this summer, David. You announced your decision to play for the Mexican national team, and you wrote a great piece for the Players Tribune about that decision. Can you take us behind the emotion a little bit? As a dual national, we keep learning about more and more people that speak about this. I look at the Roldan brothers. You have Mexican parents, but born in California. Can you just take us behind that a little bit?
No, yeah, it's definitely a unique thing, and especially with the rivalry that the U.S. and Mexico has. It was kind of weird, you can say, kind of being in between for me. Me representing the U.S. for the youth teams, it just felt weird, being Mexican, especially when we faced Mexico, it was weird. I had love for both countries, and it was just kind of the team that I was representing. But no, I mean, like I said, I have love for both countries. This country has given everything to my family. It's obviously why they came here, but blood is thicker, and that's kind of how I went with my decision. I kind of tried to follow the heart a little bit, and as a little kid, I always grew up watching Mexico. So I just kind of went with the heart, and I just felt like Mexico was the right decision. But no, definitely I have love for both countries. And just a little detail is I sing, to like kind of honor that, I sing both national anthems. So
I love that.
That's beautiful. I know. That's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. And listen, you can never go wrong following your heart. It's always gonna lead you in the right direction. It was interesting though. Reading that article. Was that kind of like cathartic for you to just kind of like be like, look, this is everything behind the decision, because it was really personal, and you talked a lot about your family and the influence. I mean, how did it feel to kind of like put it out there? Because inevitably there were going to be, questions or people disappointed that you didn't choose to play for the United States. How did it feel to just really be able to have this platform to say, this is why, this is sort of my side of the story?
No, yeah, it was a great story, and I thank the Players Tribune. They did an excellent job. I couldn't have asked for anything better. But I personally just felt like I needed to, put something out there, especially for everything that the U.S. national teams have done for me. All the coaches that are part of the system, they helped me grow a lot, and I just felt like I kind of needed an explanation instead of me kind of sending individual texts to a bunch of more than 100 coaches. I just want to let them know that I was grateful, and that it was a super super tough decision, just so they didn't get any bad vibes on the decision.
Hey, but it's a decision one should be honored to have, that you have to
Absolutely.
pick for two amazing soccer federations. Was there one text message or one phone call that you got, David, that kind of stood out to you, after that announcement, that was like made you feel good from either side?
No, yeah. All the U.S. coaches, and I say all of them, there's more than like 15 texts. They all texted me, and they weren't mad about it. They kind of they were showing support for it. So I got especially one from Gregg Berhalter right after, saying you're gonna be great with whatever national team you choose, and that kind of just stood out to me. It's honestly what I wanted, and yeah, it just shows the the type of how would you say, the type of relationship that I had with the coach.
Yeah.
So
no,
it was good, and I left with good intentions.
It's going to be fun to watch some of those matchups too.
When I'm saying this, I'm not gonna. I'm definitely gonna do my smack talking to the US.
We expect nothing less, David. Come
we
on.
would be disappointed without it.
Give the people what they want.
I love to win. So
give the people what they want.
I'm gonna give my all when I represent Mexico, and with that, they might get mad at me this time. So, but it's all good.
It's all good. It's all in good spirit. Okay, so we know you love to win. This team just keeps on winning. How do you get it done in Portland?
No, I think just doing the same thing that we've done these last two games. I think the confidence that we have should be higher than Portland's. Saying the teams that we've beat. I think everyone's feeling good in themselves as a team and individually, and I think we just got to keep doing the same thing we're doing, and we'll come out on top in Portland.
David Ochoa, the RSL hero, we'll say. Thank you very much for joining us. And,
hero, not villain.
Hero, not villain. It's a new hashtag. All right, thank you so much, and we'll let you get to training. Thanks for hopping on so early. Out in Salt Lake, we appreciate it. Here for this, there is so much to talk about. My most recent game was in Philadelphia. Shout out to our boss, Jay Sagini, for getting me home out of Chester, Pennsylvania, but also a major shout out to Jim Curtin, who was rocking what we discussed last week in his very sleek Prada jacket. Oh, Suze, I have news for you on it too. the way he said it in his interview, I asked him, I said, I see the jacket, Jim. Also, only Jim Curtin, after he wins a historic game, the Philadelphia Union have never made it to a conference final.
Yeah.
Only Jim Curtin could you make your fourth and final question about what he's wearing, and he's not like,
totally offended.
Yeah. I asked him, I said, Jim,
what a good
love
guy.
the jacket, but are you saving the call-up hoodie for MLS Cup? Just curious.
Okay, I'll wear it to MLS Cup. You got me on the spot. I'll wear it. I got a nice jacket, so I've been wearing this. This has been good luck so far, but I'll go for the call-up hoodie for the big games, the real games.
Oh,
I'm like,
Jim,
adorable, but you really don't have to. But I'll be really happy if.
If Jim Curtin wore a call-up hoodie on the sidelines at an MLS Cup final. I feel like we just quit. I feel like it's just, that's the pinnacle for us. We're done. Like, mic drop, boom, we're out. I will tell you.
Is that the?
That's it.
That's the series finale.
Yeah, that's it. We're done. There's nowhere to go but down after that.
That sounds sad. I don't.
Oh no, I know. I'm just kidding. But do you know what I love though about the Prada hoodie on Jim too? Because number one, looks
Prada
great.
Jacket.
Yes, exactly. Prada jacket.
Very serious.
I love that he is not afraid to, because you and I, we're texting each other about our outfits. What are we going to wear to the game? Because God forbid we repeat wearing a jacket, and like Jim Curtin's just like, no, this is Prada and I'm going to wear the heck out of this. And also it's like, no, good luck for him. So I just appreciate the fact that he's just like, I'm going to repurpose this. It's Prada, y'all.
I have news for you. Remember, I think it was you that asked the question last week. Like, do we think he got it, or do you think it was like from a gift from his wife?
Yeah.
And I said, no, I think Jim went into the Prada store and bought that. But you know what? The way he answered the question, he said, oh, well, you know what? He kind of so quietly said, it's been good luck, and it's a really nice jacket. Like, he just said it so sweetly. I was like, oh, this was a gift. I didn't get the bold sense that he walked in and picked it out.
I have a solution. He wears the call-up hoodie under the Prada. This is what we're going for.
Just a little call-up showing here.
Just a
little tie-dye hoodie.
Yeah, he just like unzips it a little so you just see a little glimpse.
Jim, if you're listening, seriously, no pressure. We don't want to be the reason you lose an MLS.
No, we're obnoxious. We are obnoxious. Moving on, next here for this, and I think we should get some credit here because this was wonderful news this week. Vancouver Whitecaps announcing that Vanni Sartini is named the head coach, and we called it. We have been advocating for this for a long time. What he did with that Vancouver team, especially the second half of the season, is so special. And he's such a character. And I love that we're going to have him in the league. This news just made me so very happy. And so now, Jill, we've been advocating for Pablo to get the full-time job at RSL. Let's take away that interim head coach title and give it just, head coach. I think if we put that out into the universe like we did with Vanni Sartini and Vancouver, there's a very good chance that this could come to fruition.
I also sense a call-up episode in 2022 of us making lasagna with Vanni Sartini.
Mm-hmm. And his cat, Frida.
And then finally, check it out on social media on our MLS call-up handle if you haven't seen it. But we discussed last week the mean tweets that we had received about our brackets. And I just want to shout out my bestie, Susannah, who until Nashville lost, she was perfect. I was imperfect as soon as the MLS Cup Playoffs started when Seattle and Atlanta lost, who I had going to the final. And we were complaining, no one ever points out when you're right. Until Justen Meram, literally within 2 seconds of winning, find Susannah. And Sus, he gave you all the credit in the world.
You had us going. You had us beating Seattle. I know that. I love that.
Can you take me into that moment? Because I've never in my life seen a player that excited and know that a commentator called them. You half called them and he didn't even care.
This was wild, you guys. This was one of the most bizarre, heartwarming, unexpected thing that's ever happened to me while covering any type of sporting event. So yeah, RSL wins in extra time against KC at Kansas City Stadium. Like, they're going bananas. So we go out to the field, me and my production crew, like to start getting post-game interviews. And so the RSL guys are all cheering. Justen Meram turns around, sees me, and goes, "You!" and like looks at me. And I'm not kidding, Jill. In that moment, the fear of God went through me. I was like, what have I done? What did I do? Oh my God, I did not pick them to win this game, and he is going to come at me. Like, that's what I was thinking, because it was like, it was like Soup's aggressive. And I was like, oh God. But then he comes up and like grabs my arm. He's like, "You had us beating Seattle. You had us going through. I know that." And I was like, oh, yeah, I did. But I was like, number one, this is amazing. Number two, holy crap, these players pay attention to our brackets. And number three, like, he was just so happy that I picked them to beat Seattle. Like, this was after the Sporting Kansas City match.
I didn't pick them to win.
I didn't pick them to win that game, but he was just so happy that I picked them to beat Seattle. And I, like, honestly, it was just one of these moments where I was like, this is unbelievable. And the fact that somebody caught it on camera, I tip my cap to our camera guy, because that was one of those moments where you're just like, what is going on?
Props to producer Abner and the rest of the crew that got that. What is on tap? Lots of games that Susannah Collins and I will be at. The scene is set.
Mm-hmm.
What team is 1 win away from MLS Cup? Well, we're all Salt Lake takes on the Portland Timbers this Saturday, where Susannah will be as the Audi 2021 MLS Cup Playoffs Conference Finals kick off. You can watch that game on FS1 and Fox Deportes at 6:30 Eastern on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I will be at the Philadelphia Union taking on NYCFC, who just knocked off New England. Holy moly. 3 Eastern on ABC and ESPN Deportes. Wow, who is going to be the Eastern Conference champion? We will find out. Both teams have never, ever made it this far. Woo!
I know. This is so, so exciting. I cannot wait for both of these games. And of course, guys, the big one, the season all culminates on December 11th. That's a Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC and Unimas, as we will crown the 2021 MLS Cup champion. Holy moly. Like, it's all here. It's happening.
And we have breaking news.
Oh, yeah.
We're the in-stadium hosts.
Oh, yes, you guys. So if you are
come to the game,
if you are coming to the game, obviously we don't know where it is yet, but if you're going to plan on coming to MLS Cup, you might have the pleasure of seeing Susannah and Jillian up on the big screen doing the in-stadium hosting for that game, and it is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Also, let's tell them about next week. Our podcast
yes,
next
you'll
week.
have to, like, if you haven't noticed, I don't think we ever told anyone.
No.
These have been coming out on Wednesday because of the Tuesday games. You know, we don't want you guys to miss anything, but you're going to have to wait one extra day, Thursday of next week. And that is because we will be coming to you live from the MLS Cup Media Day. Lots of stars, surprise guests. I mean, it's the who's who. That's
I'm
going
so
to be kind
excited.
of stopping by and hanging out with us. So it'll be coming out on Thursday, but it's worth the wait.
It is worth the wait.
What did you say?
We promise. We promise. I cannot wait. Guys,
I also get to see you again.
I know, and longer than like 2 minutes. Like, we'll actually spend time together. Oh, cannot wait. What an incredible time of year. Guys, thank you so much for listening and tuning in. Thank you to RSL, Justen Glad, David Ochoa. We wish them the best of luck this weekend. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week from MLS Cup.
It's all happening.
What's up, everybody? It is Susannah Collins and Jillian Sakovitz, co-hosts of The Call Up. And if you want more Call Up action, hit like and subscribe right here on YouTube, right there.
And also make sure that you download every episode of The Call Up every single Tuesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time or anywhere that you get your podcasts. And while you're here, why not check out some of these other videos as well?